Hello there, and thank you for joining us again on Channels Beam, right here on Channels Television. I'm Victor Matthias. Now, 2020 has been an eventful year with unprecedented experiences. One thing that was noticeable was how Nigerians searched online for answers and for information just to get by. So today on the program, we will be looking at what Nigerians were concerned most about in the year 2020 and why, as we take a look at the 2020 year in search compiled by Google and social media experts. We will also run you down the videos that excited you the most on our YouTube channel in the year under review. But of course, as always, let's quickly run through some of the trends in the last week of 2020 on social media.
Mixed reactions trail President Buhari's New Year message, which he delivers via a live broadcast. As usual, the president kickstarted the 2021 New Year celebration with the presidential broadcast, addressing the citizens, where he made a number of promises, including the reorganization of the country's security architecture. But a number of people are not feeling it, while others feel there's still hope. The death of Mr. Tunde Thomas, which was linked to marital infidelity, has inspired calls for men in the country to take their children for DNA tests to prove their paternity. The late Thomas reportedly died about 2 weeks ago from heart failure after it was discovered that 2 of his children were allegedly fathered by the current managing director of the First City Monument Bank, Mr. Adam Nuru, who was his wife's boss. While blasting the FCMB's chief, Nigerians decried the high incidence of marital infidelity in the society and added that the anomaly was fast assuming dangerous dimension. Chinese billionaire Jack Ma, currently under scrutiny by the government of China, has reportedly not been seen in public for several weeks. This has led to speculations that Ma could be missing. According to recent reports, Ma was scheduled to appear for the filming of his own talent show, Africa's Business Heroes, but was instead replaced by another Alibaba executive. The Chinese e-commerce giant told Financial Times that Ma couldn't appear on the show due to a conflict in schedules.
Well, there you go. Those were some of the trends. But as always, you can be a part of the conversation from wherever you're watching around the world. Just tweet at us at Channels Beam, at Channels TV, at Victor_MBIDI. You can also use the hashtag Channels Beam and also the hashtag 2020 review. But of course, to kickstart this conversation, let's take a look at some of the top trending searches that Nigerians actually looked at the most in the past year. Topping that charts was the U.S. elections. It was followed by Joe Biden, then Google Classroom. ASU takes number 5, Zoom Live number 6, Rema number 7, Naira Marley number 8, Rahama Sado at number 9, and of course Hush Puppy goes in there at number 10. And also the people that Nigerians searched the most also in the year 2020, top of that list was Mr. Joe Biden, and that was followed by Rema, and then Naira Marley, then Rahama Sado, Hush Puppy, and then we have Lekon, Kamala Harris, Omale, have Mariam Sanda, and we also have Kai Havertz. Well, those were some of those trends and also searches by Nigerians in the past year. But we have Chidi Okereke, a digital marketing, advertising and communications executive. He is a fellow of the Cornell Alliance for Science Global Leadership Program and a Future Awards Africa Prize for New Media nominee, joining us to look at some of these trends. Chidi, it's a pleasure to have you on the program today.
Hi, Victor. It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Same to you. Same to you. Welcome to
Th-
2021.
Indeed, indeed. Welcome to 2021. So, any surprises from some of those trends that I just listed for you?
I'm really surprised that NSAS did not make a showing on the list. I think NSAS was the biggest, one of the biggest things that happened in Nigeria last year, and it is not on the list. Also, Big Brother Nigeria was really really big, and it wasn't on the list. For the other searches, for the other keywords and phrases that were some of the top trending searches, yeah, I witnessed them happen in real time, and yeah, accurate. But I'm just surprised those other ones did not make it to the list.
All right. So, like you said, there are some of those trends and searches that you said didn't make that list. Let me pretty much just sum up some that I have here with me as well. We have Okada
Okay.
ban, the Emir of Kano, the Abule Ado explosion, Justice for Uwa, Netflix, I beg your pardon, Originals, Big Brother Naija, like you made mention of, the NSAS protests, again, like you made mention of, which also resulted into the Lekki massacre, the Oyibo massacre. We have also the Borno massacre. So if you're going to take us just a bit by bit of these trends, why would you say these searches or these lists, why would you say they trended? Let's even begin with the Okada ban, of course.
Yeah, sometime in February, when the government of Lagos State decided they wanted to stop Okadas from plying certain routes, especially it's made a lot of news because you understand the traffic situation in Lagos, you understand the traffic situation in this state as populated as it is, and the fact that it is a major means of transportation for a lot of people. And another thing is, it was at the time when some of these e-bike hailing companies were springing up and they were making a lot of money and everything. And it felt like, investors come in, invest a lot of money in the country, in the state, and then one policy will just change everything. So from the point of view of those who are in the tech space, and the point of view of those who've invested, and those who fly these routes and know the importance of bikes, it was very, very, very big news. And I think that was, aside the global news, the death of Kobe Bryant and some of the other things that happened in January, the Okada ban was one of the first biggest things that happened in Nigeria. Then in March, the Emir of Kano was dethroned. That wasn't really a shock for a lot of people who are conversant with the happenings in the political space. But for those who have been watching, who have seen the friction between the Emir of Kano and the governor of Kano State, it wasn't a surprise at all. They saw it coming. The method was shocking, and it felt like in Nigeria anything can happen, and that was just a testament, a confirmation of that fact. And the Emir of Kano was dethroned, was exiled for a bit, and I think right now he's in Kaduna State, if I am not mistaken, or at least he went to Kaduna State after his exile began. Yeah, then some really really bad news. An explosion happened in Abule Ado, a suburb in Lagos State that saw the deaths of about 15 people at the very least. At least 15 people died. And we know in Nigeria, when they say 15 people died, it's possible that it's more than that. But we're being conservative with the numbers. At least 15 people died in that very unfortunate explosion. I have not followed up to see exactly what happened. I mean, there were a string of investigations, and I have not followed up to see what happened. But the explosion happened, and people died, and houses were destroyed, and property were destroyed, and that was really a sad note in some of the things that happened in the first quarter of the year.
All right. So one of the trends that actually caught the attention of Nigerians, and not even locally but globally, and even caught global attention, was Justice for Uwa. Of course, it was a very not so good story. But what exactly happened that made that trend to be global, to give it that global attention that it got at the point that it happened?
So it happened. It was a combination of a lot of violence that is suffered by women, domestic violence, sexual assault, sexual harassment, rape, all that. It was like, you know what, this has come to a point where we can't take it anymore, because people talk about safe places. People talk about all the things women should do in order to avoid sexual violence. Who would have thought that one of the places that should be the safest place for a woman to be in, the church is where a woman will meet her death. So it was horrible. It was so horrible that people were like, you know what, we can't do this, we can't take this anymore. And that is why online and offline, it led to massive protests across Nigeria. The protests got to, permeated every section of social media. Like everybody was talking about it. It was a symbol of the violence that women have endured for a very, very long time. And that's the reason why it was one of the biggest things that happened last year. Justice for I'm not sure justice has actually happened. A couple of people have been arrested. A couple of trials have been done. I don't know what the status of the case is, but the fact remains that sexual violence against women continues to be a thing in Nigeria, and that trend is one of the periods when everybody came together and said enough is enough.
Right. So, also, you made mention of protests, and also we saw that along the line. Also, in one of those trends, we had the NSAs protest, which, also caught global attention. It seems we had so much attention, we had so much vibes or things going on here in Nigeria that caught, the attention of the world. Just pretty much tell us a bit about, because you also said that you were surprised that in the list, compiled by Google, NSARS, for some reason, didn't feature in it. Why are you surprised? If people didn't search that much for it, perhaps it wouldn't appear on that list.
Okay, so maybe my surprise is maybe I shouldn't be surprised, because people search for things they want more information on, right? People search. I mean, that's standard. I might be wrong, but from experience and from all the research I've done in this space, people search for things they want more information on. NSAS not being one of the top searches is because people are living it. People are experiencing it on a daily basis. That's possibly why it didn't appear on the top trends. Well, as a matter of fact, NSAS is one of the biggest things that happened. There's so many ways different people will define or describe what NSAS meant, but I'll just say this: NSAS is the first time our generation, my generation, I don't know about yours, Victor, my generation, it is the first time we have come together and demanded an end to injustice. It is the first time we have come together en masse and basically ground this nation to a halt because we're demanding an end to the injustice we have been facing in the hands of people who should ordinarily protect us. NSAS started as a result of the numerous cases of extrajudicial murders, the numerous cases of brutality, unwarranted brutality, of innocent people who should not be harassed. Like people who leave their houses, and instead of being scared for armed robbers, they are scared of uniformed men who are supposed to protect them. People came together and said enough is enough, and that led to from a small protest at Alausa, led by Rinu, shout out to Rinu, led by Rinu and people like Macaroni and all that. It blossomed into something that went around the nation, went to other cities around the world, and basically held the nation to stand still. NSAS is one of it's an epoch making moment for Nigeria and for Nigerians and for young people, because it means that if we come together, we can decide our fate as a nation. It is unfortunate that how we ended with the Lekki massacre, where soldiers who are also supposed to protect us were sent to the Lekki toll gate and decided to, shoot at citizens of Nigeria and kill a couple of them. It is really unfortunate how that happened, which is why Lekki massacre also became another trend. But yeah, all in all, NSAS was a wake-up call that we can actually do it, can actually come together and set our feet, and that is why it features on my personal biggest trends of 2020 list.
Indeed, Chidi, the last I checked, I think you're older than me, and I think you're growing gray hair, and that's why you're wearing the cap. I don't know how to put it now, but the stuff you're wearing. So the generation you're talking about, I don't know. It's also my generation. So, but of course, that was just on the light side. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, I will get to continue with this discussion, because we have more trends and more things and people that made the trends in the year 2020 that I will be finding out why they made the trends list. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. We'll still have with us Chidi Okereke, who is joining us via Zoom from Ikeja in Lagos. So just before we went on that break, we were looking at some of the trends that personally for him and also other social media experts felt, could have been part of the list compiled by Google as that which made the trends or which interested people the most in the past year. But let's also go back a bit, Chidi, to the list compiled by Google. It had a lot of entertainers, first and foremost, of course. It has a lot of entertainers, but the two we had a lot of entertainers, from actors, musicians, and all of that. It seems that Nigeria's entertainment industry made a lot of buzz in the past year.
Yeah, yes. Considering the coronavirus, which is basically the top trend in Nigeria, anyways, considering
In
the
the world, actually.
coronavirus and all that, and in the world, yeah, the lockdown and everything, a lot of us turned to entertainers for our entertainment. They were like our anchor to the good side of everything, and that is why a lot of entertainers were made the list. I mean, this is basically what they do, from dropping music to controversy and all that. People were searching for them, people were talking about them, people were trying to get more information about them. And Rema dropped very, very beautiful bodies of work. Was it a body of work? Yeah, he dropped fantastic music, in summary. And people were always searching for his song. Naira Marley, the ever controversial Naira Marley, he dropped a couple great songs, and he also caused some controversy. Rahama Stel's story is a bit different. She was top trending topic because she posted a photo of her, bareback photo of her, and a lot of people who did not take a liking to that, started talking about her, started harassing her and everything. And it's a very unfortunate story, and it's not a good way to be in the news. I'm really, really sorry that she had to go through all that. Oshropi was in the news because the guy who's allegedly a fraudster was arrested by the Dubai police and has been transported to the US, where he's going to face trials for all his crimes and everything. So that's like why a lot of these entertainers were in the news and trending. And Zoom Live is the sixth trend. I mean, look at us. We're here on. We're doing this on Zoom. Zoom became like one of the biggest platforms for people to connect with each other, do work, collaborate, do work together, hold meetings that they usually will hold physically. So Zoom was like, a medium, a platform for everybody to connect with each other. And that was really, really impressive. ASU also made the list. ASU is the university body in Nigeria. And it's really, really sad that they've been on strike for 10 months now, if I'm not mistaken. 10 months, people have not gone to school. I mean, with the coronavirus and everything, schools were going to be shut anyways. But then we live in a world that's become increasingly digital, and there's absolutely no reason why people could not have learned online if the lecturers were not on strike. So it is just unfortunate.
Yeah. So Chidi,
the average Nigerian who's in school.
Yeah, Chidi, sorry to bother you. It's good that you made mention of the fact that we're digitally inclined. So with the advent of Zoom Live, do you think that school still would have gone on if ASU wasn't on strike? Do you think the Nigerian educational system is built for that kind of learning system?
So maybe not all schools, and maybe not all at the same time. But I mean, growth is a process; it's not an event. It's again, we don't have the infrastructure. Internet is not cheap. What's it called? Electricity is not constant. And for Zoom, you have to pay a certain fee when you have a certain number of people in a class. But with the schools that are more, that are richer, or with the schools that have a stronger alumni, people who can support them, with schools that are more technologically savvy, some schools are advanced technologically in Nigeria here, those would have at least started the process of getting learning from the physical classrooms to the e-classrooms. It would not have been easy. Nobody's saying it would have been easy, but it could have been doable. Right now, almost all schools, all classes have WhatsApp groups. That is how they communicate. In my time when I was in school, WhatsApp groups was not a thing. So it's so easy now. Like, it's so easy now to connect with your classmates, to actually hold lectures. I've had opportunities to hold lectures with students who are on WhatsApp, and I did it on WhatsApp, voice notes, pictures, and all that. These are all tools that could have been used by schools, if they were not on strike. the crux of the matter is that the strike was a very, very terrible idea. And even though schools would still have been affected anyways, e-learning would have, maybe that would have been an opportunity for e-learning to solidify its presence in Nigeria. And we lost that opportunity, and that's just sad.
Well, hopefully, as time goes on, that opportunity will be utilized, will be harped upon, and of course, it will remain in the system as we move on. But I mean, it's just quite interesting for me that one of the trending topics, or one of the persons who made the trends list in one of these trends that we're looking at is Kai Havertz of Chelsea. I mean, how well has he been doing, and why was he even to say on the list? Was it his transfer fee? Was there a clause in his contract? What exactly was the situation with Kai Havertz?
Kai, I am not a Chelsea fan, so I don't have a lot of information on his performance. But if we go by the drubbing they had last night
Yeah,
in the
last
hands
night.
of Manchester United,
Manchester City.
in the hands of Manchester City. If we go by that, then we know that a lot of Chelsea fans are not happy with him. I think the search was the result of his transfer. They expected a lot. They really, really expected a lot from him. He was in the news. Prior to that, I had no idea who he was. But then I heard the name so much that I got to know him. I got to check him out and everything. So it was in the news because Chelsea fans are a lot in Nigeria. They were excited about his signing. They were excited about his coming. We were thinking he was going to come change the game, but I mean, we know how man proposes and the universe says no. Yeah.
Indeed. Well, one of the things that, this I would call it an aspiration that actually came to a reality is Kamala Harris being voted alongside Joe Biden, on that presidential ticket. And Kamala Harris gave a very powerful speech during her acceptance speech where she said she might be the first person, to occupy the office, but she won't be the last. Did she be part of the did she get on the trends list because of that line, or because of the fact that she's the first female vice president, and also not even just the first female vice president, but the first black vice president of the United States? What do you think put her on the trends list?
It's a combination of the fact that she ran alongside Joe Biden and she won alongside Joe Biden, and also that very powerful speech. That speech was very powerful and inspirational. This is like a generation of young girls who have a different skin color from the major population of people who are from a different race or who have ties to a different race. This is like inspiration for them that you can dream it, you can do it. It's possible. It's not impossible. Kamala Harris brings so much hope to a lot of people, and it's really, 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 really beautiful that she alongside Joe Biden won. And people were searching for her because they wanted to get more information about her roots, her voting pattern over time, all the things she did when she was Attorney General and all that. So yeah, people checked because of all that, and it all summed up to her being on that trends list as one of the most searched persons in Nigeria.
All right, so it's a new year already, 2021. We're 4 days into 2021. What would be your projections? What do you think would get the interest of people? What do you think would spike the interest of people as this new year begins?
A lot. Entertainment was really big last year. Entertainment is going to take a huge chunk of the conversations in Nigeria. I mean, I mentioned in my list that Netflix has, basically signed on a couple of originals. Entertainers are going to, the entertainment industry in Nigeria is going to be on fire this year. If the coronavirus is no longer a threat as it was last year, it is not. It's still a threat. It's still a big threat. Nobody should quote me wrong. But if a time comes when the coronavirus is no longer a threat as it was before, all those artists who dropped beautiful songs, all those people are going to be more in our faces because they're going to be granting interviews, going on shows, hosting events, and all that. So entertainment is going to be big. The Netflix originals are going to, have us glued to our screens and have us talking about how far Nollywood has come. In the political space, there isn't an election. I mean, there isn't a nationwide election this year. So I don't expect a lot to be said in that state. But then people are going to continue talking about the current government and how effective or ineffective the government is. Following the progress made during the NSAS protest, I expect that young people are going to come together and form coalitions or bodies that are going to maybe be interested in politics or going to push for people voter registration to begin and all that. Also, voter registration is going to be a big deal. I believe that INEC is going to begin voter registration again, continuous voter registration again. I don't know why they stopped in the first place. That also is supposed to be in top conversations. Yeah, those are some of the things I believe. Also, Donald Trump is not going to stop talking. I feel like if he's this loud as president, he's going to be louder as somebody who was ousted as president. So I'm not necessarily looking forward to it, but I expect that he's going to talk a lot. Hopefully, mainstream media ignores him. It's really important that they ignore him. And there's going to be Big Brother Nigeria this year. I believe that also is going to be a big topic of conversation as the ones who are currently the biggest trending topics,
Yeah. All right, Chidi, we have to wait and see if your projections will be right. Again, we'll come back perhaps at the beginning of next year to again review some of these trends that you have projected will catch the attention of Nigerians. But at the same time, I have to say thank you for going through the trends with us for the year 2020. And of course, I wish you a better 2021. Chidi Okirike.
Thank you. Yusuf. Yeah.
You're welcome. And that's the program today. Thank you for watching. I'm Victor Matthias. Have a great 2021.